everyone, this is Lifestyle Gardener. Today I'm going to try to pressure can some butters with a little bit of twist. I'm gonna use coconut oil in order to balance out the saltiness and the texture of the butter when you can it. Because these are all salted butter, they recommend you mixing the butter with the salted butter with unsalted butter. But I was looking in the grocery store, and half a stick of butter that is unsalted is the same price as a full stick of butter, and I couldn't bring myself to buying that, so I'm gonna try to see if I can mix the coconut oil with the salted butter and see if it would taste too much like coconut oil. Either way, I like coconut oil, so it's not a big deal for me if it does taste like that. But if it does taste like that, I'll let you guys know. You know me, I always like to do experiment and research and stuff like that, so I'll see how this process go, and I will show you some of the process while I am pressure canning butter. I can't believe it. It's like, what's the date today? It's like 26th today of October, and I can't believe how warm the apartment feel. That is not normal for it to feel like, well, it's not normal for me when I was living in Ontario for the apartment to feel so warm in October. It feel like summer. I went outside like 15 minutes ago, and I could literally walk outside right now with no jacket and it still feel warm outside. And there are a lot of people that's still walking outside even though it's dark, and they're walking without no jacket either. Walking without no jacket too. So we've been experiencing some strange weather that I never ever thought that I would ever see. So let's see how this goes. So you guys can see I put the butter in my Instant Pot, and the Instant Pot is melting the butter very quickly without burning it. I turn it on to slow cooker, but the butter is getting melted quicker than if I did put it on the stove, and at the same time it's not getting burnt. So that's a bonus. If you have Instant Pot, use that to make your butter if you're not gonna make a whole bunch of butter. This is only about 7 sticks of butter and 1 bottle of coconut oil. Let me look at the size here. Okay, so it's 500 ml of coconut oil. So when the butter is melt, I'm gonna mix in the coconut oil in it, and I think that's gonna happen very quickly. Literally I put the butter in here like 5 minutes ago, and look, already the butter is melting. So this is wonderful. Look at that, and look at the timer on the Instant Pot. I set the Instant Pot to slow cooker, and I time it I put 30 minutes of it, and as you can see, the butter melted, all of it pretty much melted within 20 minutes of the timing. It's all melted now, almost all melted, as you can see that. So once that little part is melted completely, I'm going to remove the white stuff at the top, and the white stuff I can use it for something else that I normally use butter for. I won't throw away that part. And then once I remove the white stuff, I'm going to mix the coconut oil inside. And in the meanwhile, I'm I'm about to wash the bottles in the sink, and then I'm going to turn on the oven, and I'm gonna put the bottles in the oven, and I'm gonna turn on the oven up to, let me see here. Yeah, I'm gonna turn it up to 200 degrees, and then I will let the bottles sterilize in the oven at least for 10 minutes, and then I will start putting the butter inside. And in the meanwhile, I'm going to take a pot and I'm going to sterilize also the lids. So this process is pretty easy. No slaving over the stove to slowly wait for the butter to melt. Instant Pot is the best way to go. So now the butter is completely melt. I'm going to remove the white stuff. So I removed most of the white stuff that was at the top. It's okay if some get leaving in the butter. So this is the amount that I got removed so far. I don't think I'm gonna try to remove any more. If you don't have an Instant Pot, no problem. Most people have slow cooker. If you have a slow cooker, you can do it in a slow cooker. The slow cooker is the bomb also, because I make my ghee in the slow cooker, and it was so much easier to make it in the slow cooker than to put it on top of the stove. If you don't have a stove, if you don't have slow cooker or Instant Pot, you can do it on the stove, but you have to turn down the temperature to the lowest, and you're gonna have to stand over the butter and stir it little by little, making sure that the butter doesn't get burned. So that is the secret. You have to turn the temperature down to the lowest, and you're gonna have to stand and keep stirring it and mix it in and making sure that the butter doesn't burn while you're doing that. So now I'm gonna mix the coconut oil inside the butter. If you guys do this every time you see butter is on sale, you never have to go buy butter anymore when it's the full price. You could always get it on sale and preserve it this way. You know, you save a lot of money from that by doing this. Personally, I don't use a lot of butter or oil in my cooking. So butter and oil last me a very long time. But I like my oil, I like my butter, you know. It's very important to always have that on hand for me. I don't just use them in my cooking, I use them also on my body sometimes. I use them for other stuff. Yeah, so that was easy. Okay, so now I'm gonna stir in the coconut oil with the butter. The coconut oil is all melted in the butter. You can't even tell that I put coconut oil in there. Okay. So now I'm gonna just wash the bottles and put it in the oven and sterilize it, and then I will start to put the butter inside the bottles. So I promised you guys that I was going to taste the coconut, the butter with the coconut oil, and let you guys know if it tastes like coconut oil. So I got a spoon here and I'm going to taste it for you guys and let you know. It tastes like butter with a tiny bit of the hint of coconut oil. It's not overpowering. It mostly tastes like butter. Actually, the coconut oil gives the butter even a nicer flavor. So if you're a person that don't like coconut oil, you won't taste it that much. It will mostly taste like butter. If you give this to somebody that didn't know that you mix it with coconut oil, they'll be asking you what is that nutty flavor. They wouldn't be able to tell what it is. Actually, it actually give it a nice flavor. So you guys can see I put a towel on top of the counter. I put a towel on top of the counter, and then I put this baking pan with the bottles on top of it, because the baking pan is hot, because I put the glass bottles inside it to carry it from the oven to the counter, and I sterilize the bottles also using this baking pan also. So I have to make sure I don't touch it because it's hot. A little note, I need to let you guys know that they don't recommend anyone canning any sort of dairy products, whether it be milk, cheese, or butter. They don't recommend it. So if you decide to do this is on your own. But a lot of people have been doing this for many years. Even before I was born, there's been people doing this. Our ancestors have been doing this. And as long as you do it right, I don't see anything wrong with doing that, but that is up to you if you want to do this. Any meat or vegetables is considered low acid food. So because it's considered low acid food, they recommend you pressure can any vegetables unless you're gonna pickle it. You could water bath it. If you're not gonna pickle it, you have to pressure can it. Meat, you have to pressure can it. Dairy products, if you do that, you have to pressure can it because they're low acid. So now I'm gonna get ready to put the butter inside the funnel. So I'm gonna fill them up. Fill up the bottle with using the funnel with the butter. The butter really help balance out the saltiness in the coconut oil. Really help balance out the saltiness in the butter. Because I remember the ghee that I made, I just had all salted butter because I never seem to see them having unsalted butter on sale in Prince Edward Island. I don't know what the reason is. And even if they do have unsalted butter, it's always half the size of butter that you would normally get. They don't have the full size like salted butter. Maybe people don't like to get unsalted butter, that's why they don't sell the full size. But in Ontario you could get the full size. And even if they did have the full size, you never see them putting it on sale. And I just like to buy butter when they're on sale. I don't like to pay the full price. For those of you who are wondering about the coconut oil, if it's gonna get expired, the expiring date is until 2024. But to tell you honest truth, I had coconut oil when I used to buy them on sale in Ontario. And I had one coconut oil that was expired past the date. And I opened it and it didn't taste expired, it didn't look expired. I think ghee and butter, certain sort of fats like that, ghee and butter, there's no expiring date for them. And if they do get expired, they will last very long before you can notice any different of the flavor or smell. Personally, I think some of the products that they put the expiring date, well, it's not really expiring date, it's a best buy date. That's what they actually say. But most people assume that it's expired when they put certain date. But it's not expired date that they put on the bottle. It's best buy date. Best to use it up certain time. So just like butter, ghee, when the temperature is cold, it turns to solid, and when the temperature is warm, it turns to liquid. So I figure they go good together. I would never mix any other oil like olive oil or sunflower oil and stuff like that. I probably would try the avocado oil, but the avocado oil, it has a very strong flavor too, and I don't think it would taste good mixed with butter. So that's why I'm not interested in that. But I know the coconut oil and the avocado oil, you can process stuff with it at a very high temperature like the butter. So that's why, one of the reasons why I chose coconut oil. You can fry stuff with it at a high temperature, and it's more healthier for you to do that, like the butter, than to use olive oil. They don't recommend you frying anything with olive oil, even though there are people that do that. I don't really do that. I don't really fry anything with olive oil. Maybe once in a blue moon I might use a little bit of it to fry, to saute my food, but to like fry, no, I don't.
People survive it there, we can survive it here.
Yep. Good answer. But PI never experienced it before, right? So they're into that extent. I guess they learn as they go. I think you can never be too prepared for that, Jean. Never be prepared enough, I mean. We did say that. Then this might make more people want to move here because of that. Even more. I filled the canner 3 times with that pot that you see in my hands with water. That's what the water looked like inside the canner afterwards. Then I use a jaw lifter to take up the bottles and put it in the canner. Then I place another lid, canner lid on top of the bottles, and then I fill it with the rest of the butter on top of the lids. So after that top part came up, I let the pressure canner ventilated for 10 minutes or until it had a steady steam coming out. And then I put the weight afterwards, and that's the weight, 10-pound weight, according to my latitude. To find out what is your latitude, you can find out that on website or Canning website to give you an idea according to your zone what latitude you should pressure can your food at. My zone is less than 1,000 above sea level. So this is what the guides say according to my zone, 10 pounds. So I pressure can them 75 minutes, and after 75 minutes I turn off the stove and I let the metal thing at the top go down. That's letting me know that it's safe to try to open up the canner. So that's when I open it up. When removing the lid from the canner, make sure you open it facing towards the wall so that the steam don't come on your face. So using the jaw lifter, I started to remove them from the canner. As soon as I open up the lid, I heard a popping sound, so they sealed right away. So that's normal. That's a good sign to say that your whatever you preserve is sealed. So anytime you hear that sound, don't be frightened. So everyone, it's the next day. I take these from the canner when the pressure went down in the pot, and I was able to open it up. So I want to show you something. You see these two here? You see how they started to separate it like here? And you see these one, how they look different from this one? The reason why they look different is natural for when you can butter, for it to separate it like this. You don't have to be concerned about that. What I did, once it came completely cool the next day, I started to shake them back and forth like this. I did it like 3 times, going all across. I did it like 3 times, one by one, and then eventually they started to look like this. So from this to this to this. So that's what you guys have to do when it comes to when it completely cool down. You shake them like this until it becomes like this. So that's how I can butter with coconut oil. If you don't want to use coconut oil, and you have access to get the unsalted butter, you can just get a couple, or get as much as you want. You could make it half and half, half salted butter and half unsalted butter. It's up to you how much of each you want to put. But I'm on a budget, so I got what I felt comfortable spending to get. Okay, you guys, have a good day. Bye.